This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and today I shall be continuing on with the Enneagram. We are up to Type 4. So just a quick one. For those of you that are listening for the first time here, just go back and listen to the Wisdom of the Enneagram, which was a couple episodes ago, which will give you a bit of an insight of what I'm talking about. Everyone else that's playing along at home, I actually, somebody sent a link to a YouTube series, or a YouTube profile, with a dude that does songs of each type. I don't think he's done a song of the Type 9 yet, the Peacemaker. Otherwise, he's done a song for Type 1 right through to Type 8. And from what I read is that he actually is a Type 9, which is pretty interesting. So I'm sure that's to come. But either way, if you want to look at that, I'm going to post a link in the Facebook group tomorrow. So jump on Mood Prep Online on the Facebook, and you'll see the link in there of who I'm referring to, and also a link to do the Enneagram test. But either way, today we're up to Type 4. And Type 4 is an interesting one. I mean, they're all interesting, right? And not. But at the same time, those of us that lean into Type 4 traits. The Type 4 is the romantic. They are the artist. They are the expressionist. They are the one that is able to see beauty and depth and sadness to almost anything. Now, all of us have access to this. Some of us may struggle with it. Some of it may be too subjective. And I know a story of a friend of mine when we were overseas many years ago. And Type 4 is not something that I really lean into, but I can definitely relate with it. And especially in comparison to him. And so we were in Prague, and we went and we didn't buy supercars. We hired supercars to take them for a drive and take them down the airstrip. And the options were like a Porsche 911, a Lamborghini. I don't think the Ferrari was there. The Aston Martin was there, because I would have got that. And there might have been a Skyline and a Mustang. And he got the Lamborghini, and I decided to get the Mustang, which was actually the slowest out of all those cars. But it was the Mustang. It's a fucking Mustang, right? There's so much like story behind the Mustang. It purrs. It's just this. It's not. I'm not driving a car. I'm literally living an experience. It's like a completely different thing. And later on, I would tell the story. And I said that I got the car up to, I think, along the drag strip, I got up to about 245 kilometers, something like that. It's about 245. Something pretty quick. And literally halfway through me telling that story to somebody, he just interrupted. And he's like, yeah, but mine was faster. And I'm like, yeah, I know. He's like, yeah, so the Lamborghini got up to 270. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, anyway, of course, it's a Lamborghini. I was like, but this Mustang, like, just purring. And he's like, yeah, I don't know why you're telling the story. Mine was faster. And for him, it was so objective. He could Type 1, by the way. It was just this idea that why am I telling the story when his car was faster? It's just this black and white objective standpoint. Whereas here I am leaning more into a Type 4 behavior. Which is funny enough, that was my fourth score when I did the Enneagram back in October 2017. But for me, it was this experience, this beauty of driving this almost like this legacy. Whereas for him, it was like he went slower. And these are how different people can interpret reality differently. And so your Type 4s are the artists. They see beauty. They see art when there's nothing. We might see just nothing. And they're photographers, and they're doing all that sort of stuff. And they're romantics at heart. When Type 4s are healthy, they actually take on some of the characteristics of the 1. And so the 1 being the actual the reformer. And what that means is that they start to take on the behaviors of going, actually, you know what? Although I am an individualist, although I am different, maybe these rules also apply to me. And maybe the beauty of that is that I can be different in a like a society of people that are different, and I can accept that, and I can integrate and play along with everyone else and still be myself. And so that's your healthy four. They have this ability to still fit into society without sort of rejecting either themselves or rejecting society, but really accepting themselves and integrating into society, and their ability to bring beauty to anything that they see, and storytell is phenomenal. So that's your integrated four. Hey, they're the healthy four. They don't lose their access, and this is for all the types. You don't lose access to your strengths and your beauties when you become healthier, when you let go of the need to have them. When the type 4 lets go of the need to always find beauty in everything, they stop having to like, and sometimes it's not beauty, sometimes it's sadness, right? Because the disintegrated 4 is going to look for emotion and feeling wherever they can. But the integrated 4 is just going to allow it to be. They're not trying to paint the picture rather, or they're just allowing beauty to be what it is, and they can express it as it is. So, yeah. But your average 4, which is quite interesting, can often get really caught up in themselves. And on the helper episode, I mentioned how type 4s want to be found and type 2s want to find them. Well, type 4s can sometimes fall into this victimhood space, and in this average one, that's just like, you don't understand what I'm going through. In fact, often type 4s doing the Enneagram, they don't bother doing it because, like, how can this possibly know me? It's like, no one can understand me. I barely even understand me, but I sure as hell know that this stupid questionnaire doesn't understand me, right? And what's really interesting is that this type 4 can sometimes almost become romantic about being romantic, and this sort of like wants to be secluded, can think they're quite introverted, which they are, but also then in that circumstance still want to be found, still want to be loved. They believe in fairy tales. I remember talking to a friend of mine, and this person had been single for quite some time, and it was really interesting when they started talking about love. They were like, I still believe in fairy tales, and that this Prince Charming was going to come. It's just like, okay, I don't know. I have no idea if there's any princes here in Australia. I know if you check your junk mail, you'll get a few emails in there, but otherwise, the thing for them is that that's what it was. There's this Prince Charming coming. There's this fantasy, this belief, and if they're not careful, that can really stop them from actually experiencing reality, because the only way that they can really imagine reality is in their mind, and so they end up living their relationships there rather than actually living them in real time. And the disintegrated 4 can actually goes to 2, and sort of in a weird sort of last ditch effort for a cry of help, because they're the ones that are most likely to be really stuck in the past. The type 4s this is, and be more closer to depression. They'll start to try and help everyone else. So they even neglect themselves further, which is interesting, in aid to try and help other people. And it can be more detrimental to their health, because then they're just avoiding what they need to do, and which is look after themselves. But it's a way to sort of fend it off or put it off. And that's where they can, in their unhealthiness, take on some of the traits of the type 2, which is reaching out and just helping other people without really being under-responsible. So they're being under-responsible to their own health. So, and when I say health, I'm referring to physical health, I'm referring to mental health, I'm referring to their sleep. They can become really introverted. They can get really angry with the world, that no one actually wants to understand them. No one's trying to understand them, even if people are reaching out to them. That they're so busy wanting to feel a particular way that they'll create the situation in their head to try and feel that way, because they're so drunk on emotion and feelings that's one of the only ways that they know how to live. So it's really quite interesting in that sort of more disintegrated space, whereas your really healthy and integrated 4 is somebody who is going to be integrating into society with all of their higher access to art and music and expression and all of that, and they can turn anything into a gift, basically. Whereas once again, the lower 4 is almost last-ditch effort trying to help other people as a cry of help to be looked after after rejecting it for so long. So yeah, there's your 4. I hope you guys got a load of this, and if you know a 4, then maybe pass this on to them. I mean, of course they wouldn't. This wouldn't be them anyway. But if you do know a 4 and you would like to pass it on to them, please do. Otherwise, if you haven't already, jump on Facebook, search Moon Prep Online, join the conversation. I'll post those songs in there probably over the weekend between tomorrow being Saturday. Today is Friday when this goes out. And go from there. Otherwise, team, that's it. Me done. I am done. Until tomorrow, peace and pizza. Kick today in the dick. And slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.